This is puff pastry. Lamination. We're going to see some serious pain. Hello everybody, it's Barry here. Hope you are well wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our kitchen. Today, we're attempting to make homemade pain au chocolats from scratch. And yes, normally when I would make a pain au chocolat or croissant, I would go to the store and buy some of the ready-made stuff. We actually have this in the fridge anyway because we use it a lot to make pastries and pies and bakes and stuff like that. It's easy, and some of the top chefs actually say, save the hassle of making your own puff pastry, just get the ready-made stuff. Because it takes a long time, but you're basically making a pastry layer which contains yeast. I didn't know that, that surprised me. I've already started it, that's a little spoiler alert. But I think it's called lamination. You have the butter in the pastry that you make, and as you keep folding, you build these layers where the butter is wedged between it, loads and loads of layers, and as it bakes, it pops open slightly to create that puffy, airy layer and that crunch that you get on puff pastry. So yeah, the bad news is it does take a little bit of time, but I feel like that effort could and should be rewarded at the end. The ingredients are minimal and there are other ways to do it. I don't really want to say this is how you do it. I researched loads of different ways. There was some where people just shove all the butter in and fold like a crazy person at Christmas time. There was people that fold it and do the multiples into like the hundreds, which is bonkers, which we'll come on to in a moment. There were some that specified how you layer the butter, that you have to grate it and put it in one portion. Or there were others that were just like, nah, just use this. Ultimately, as long as you seal the butter in, you're gonna hopefully get that lamination. I have no idea. Let's find out. To be honest, I just think we jolly well get on with it. This is some plain flour and some milk, okay? 120 ml in milk and the same amount in water, so 240 ml in total. Some sugar, some butter that I've just blasted in the microwave, and some yeast. The flour sort of like going, hey, come on milk and water, join this party. But we do have one extra ingredient. We do have some salt to go in, but I didn't want to do that straight onto the yeast. As you guys have told me, it kind of kills it if it's just the two together. So let's just mix that through, get all that flour biting to the dough. And what I'm going to do with clean hands is just start to roughly bring it together. You don't need to knead it. You don't need to knead it until it's smooth at all with this. Look how rough that is. There's even a few speckles of lumps of butter. That is fine. Just bring it together. Boom, back in that bowl. Cover it, stick it in the fridge for at least 45 minutes. All right, the butter for the lamination. This is a square of butter that Chloe last night helped me bash up. Thank you, mate.
No problem.
That went in the fridge, and here it is. The morning after, solid as a rock, nice and thin, but this is what is going to get encased in our pastry. And once it's in there, we can laminate. I don't think that's technically the phrase, but we're basically going to fold it, and that's where it gets a little bit maths and actually kind of geeky, but also kind of fun. Okay, so imagine 45 minutes has passed and we're going to get the dough out now. I'm not doing it for 45 minutes because I already made it last night. I just want to show you the next step. We take our rough ball that's had 45 minutes, you just roll it out big enough so that my square of butter will fit in there and we've got enough to fold it over. That's looking good. So all the butter was just literally cut up thinly and bashed with a rolling pin by Chloe like that, and I just trimmed it before putting it in the fridge so it's sort of fairly, I don't know, look at that, it's kind of like a square fried egg. So this is where we're at, and sometimes people will roll it into a rectangle and put one bit at one end, or they'll grate it on and then do the folding. But I found this way seemed to be quite common on a few methods, so that's the way we're going for, where you just make sure that you cover that butter in there, okay? That is literally better than how I wrap my Christmas presents. So all we do is just roll that forward lightly, not all the way, just to press that in place, and that just goes in to firm up to really help our next rolling step. Of course, next to a really random shape of cheese which was used on the last hacks video, standard. So you would again leave this for about 45 minutes. We're about to do the really exciting thing of where you build the layers, and as you do it, it kind of goes up in multiples, and I've got this crazy idea of doing like a 10,000 layer puff pastry video and just seeing if I can do it. It'll make sense now. One tip I picked up was to only flour it as much as you need to, and to roll it. I'm sure there's a theory behind this, but make sure you do it in a rectangle which comes in with your turns. It'll make sense in a minute, I promise. So here's the thing, this is one layer. And if you like Star Wars, princess layer. Lift one up into the middle there. So all of a sudden, your one layer, which is here, has now become 2, right? 1, 2. Bring the other layer on top. 1, 2, 3. Okay? This is where the turns come in. It's kind of like origami with pastry. You turn it 90 degrees in preparation for your next roll, which will wedge these together and give you another chance to fold and build up the layers. So we do nothing with this other than put it back there, knowing that when we get this out in another hour's time and we roll it, we're compressing these down. I don't know what that was. So we cover that and chill it again next to our weird cheese, again for a minimum of 45 minutes. Might as well go for an hour. The only thing I'm going to say is please don't try and skip the chilling things. Oh, it's been 20 minutes. Because the butter every time is firming up between those layers. If it's still warm from that energy and that heat you put in when you've been rolling it, the butter could probably seep into the pastry. That's my reasoning behind it anyway. That's the excuse I'm going to go for. So please give it the time to chill so that when we roll it out, you've got these little bands of the butter building on all those layers. You get it? I thought that was kind of cool. Hey, you know why they call it pan au chocolat? Because making the puff pastry is a real pan in the butt. Oh yes.
1 hour later.
Before we put it in the fridge, we did that 90-degree turn so that we know once we put it out like that, lengthways, as long as we keep going forwards like this, you get this like little marbling of the butter. It's really cool. And remember, this is a layer of 3. So, when we do it like this isn't 3 becoming 4. This is now 6 and 9. Okay, so we've now got a 9-layer pastry. Spin it round on my board, cover it again, and guess where this is going? For another minimum 45 minutes to firm up. Are you with me? I find that kind of quite fascinating, but we will then be up to matching the dough that I made last night, which I feel is only fair.
Later.
Again, out to the size of roughly a baking tray, compressing those layers down. So 9 becomes 18, becomes 27. And if that is your last full proper turn, you put it in the fridge overnight. So that's going to get the butter properly firmed up, but also get that yeast working a little bit with our panettone the other day. So that is 27 layers, right? So if we did it again, 27 times 27 times 20, why am I timesing it? 19,000 layers. No. 27 plus 27 plus 27 equals 81. 81 times 3 is 243. Nice. Times 3 is 729. Nice. Times 3 is 2187. Nice. Times 3 is 6,561. Nice. Times 3 is, there's the 90. Wow. So within about an extra 4 more turns, approximately, you could have 19,000 individual layers. I don't know if that's sensible. But one day, as I times that by 3, 2 more times to create 177, I'm gonna do that. That is a video. I'm feeling giant puff pastry. 177,000. Am I killing time here? Yes, I am. Because you need to wait overnight, don't you? Made some last night. All right, it's 20 to 10 at night. And this is the last turn I'm doing. So there and there. Now this is going overnight in the fridge, and that's what we're using in the video we're watching right now. And yes, this is some that I made earlier. Oh, that's so cold and rock solid. 27 layers overnight, and you can see that has puffed up a little bit actually. My first ever puff pastry block. It feels more like a book. But now we don't really care about the shapes, and when it's cold like this is what you should do actually, folks. Just like push the rolling pin in to help you get that first initial roll. Can you see? I don't know if you've ever bought puff pastry and looked at the layers. Look, hopefully if I've done that right, you can see, like kind of like a tree, the 27 layers that we worked in there. And it's a lot of effort, but it's kind of fun. So if you're not using it like other puff pastry you buy in the shops, keep it chilled in the fridge, wrapped in some cling film. Alrighty folks, so all I've done with that one half that I divided up was roll it out thin and cut it into like a fairly neat rectangle. Now, I feel like my whole life has been a lie with pan au chocolats. I always thought it was kind of like a weird chocolate strand that goes in the middle of said pan au chocolat. But no, it's just a simple 2 block of chocolate like this. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll put it this end, that'll be better for you to see, yes. I'll put it here, so there's a little gap. You see that there? A little gap, so it's not tucked right to the edge, okay? And again, about the same distance. But this is dark chocolate, but I don't think there's any harm in you doing like a white chocolate pan au chocolat, or a milk, or flavoured chocolate, like a minty one or something. Right, the light's not amazing, but you might be able to just see it. You see these little marks, little spaces in between, okay? They've been sliced, and all in all, we've got 5 strips there. But remember, we've got another half in the fridge, and we've got some offcuts, so you could probably get about 12 to 13 out of this. We just roll it up like this. Okay? And what I'm also going to do is just take off that there, because you kind of want it to rest on a seam at the bottom. You see this? I want the weight to sit on that, okay? That's my first ever pan au chocolat. It could turn out rubbish. But if it does, I'm still going to put the video up. You guys know that. That's the whole point of the channel. But I saw a few recipes where they did a double egg wash. I've never done that before, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, so we're putting this, the warmest part of our house, right by our boiler, and I'm going to leave it for about an hour to prove. So in that time, I might as well just do the other half of the dough as well. Yeah. Is it just me, or does it make you massively respect these ready-made blocks now? Oh my gosh. Wow, that is some, if I've got that right, that is some serious layers, unless it's a lot of fat ones, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 10. We will find out, because we might as well do some where we make this, as per package instructions, it says to make your thing and chill it in the fridge rather than let it prove. Okay, let's just see how they compare, but I will make some with this and keep them in the fridge, and we'll bake them at the same time and have a little taste off. You're supposed to be off school sick.
But I want to see you make pan au chocolate does.
Right, my oven is preheated because Chloe just made a cheeky batch a minute ago whilst these were proven, and look, they really have risen in size. Look at the layers. I really hope there's not too much puffage. And you compare that, these are the store-bought ones. The dough is nice and smooth, like it's been run through some crazy machine.
Is puffage even a word?
I don't know.
I'm going to search up the definition.
Homeschooling at its best, right. So, to be fair, we are going to egg wash the store-bought ones as well, like so. And then we actually double egg wash the ones that we've made from scratch. The thing I will say with store-bought pastry, normally the colour isn't quite as good. But of course, we have no idea what the base recipe is used for that, but we do know we put butter inside the layers and the base dough. So hopefully in about 15 minutes, we're going to see some serious pain. Because if this works, let me tell you, 1, I'll probably reference this video if I ever do puff pastry homemade again. 2, it really makes you want to do homemade sausage rolls again. That would be, I mean, they looked insane, but that would, oh, I am proper daddy pig right now. Oh, I'm so excited. Why am I so excited about pastry?
A little later.
Oh my word. Oh yes. Ooh, the store-bought ones look like they need a bit more loving, but look at that. Oh, loud noises. Yes, oh, it smells so good. The other store-bought ones, bottom shelf, we want them cooked, we want them. Ah, whoops. But these, they are best served. Best served. Best served warm. Oh, just look at that golden colour. 2 chunks of chocolate encased in there too. Honestly, already, I feel like it was worth all the effort. They look almost golden and buttery on the sides as well. All right, and for comparison, these are the ready-made ones. A nice golden colour on there, but you can see completely different outcome. I did double egg wash these actually before they went in the fridge, a little egg wash, and the same, just like what they had. But if I'd baked them for much longer, the pastry probably would have started to have gone quite hard, and we don't want that. We're not making toffee. But you are getting a little bit of chocolate peeking through, which I haven't got on these. I don't mind that really. Yeah, I pushed the chocolate a little closer to the edge on some of these here, so as a bonus scene at the end, if these look amazing, then do that, folks, all right? Have whichever one you want, but we go for a store-bought one first, okay? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's nice. No pressure now. Very flaky. I mean, look at this down here. It's sort of all perished and gone all over the counter, yeah? But that's what you want, mate. That's the lamination! Lamination! Lamination!
The bought ones, they're a bit small.
Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
these are really big.
Yeah, but that's a good point, mate. I made them the same size.
What?
They were this size when I made them, and then they proved larger. Oh my gosh. It's so buttery and flaky. It melts in the mouth, the pockets of air.
I don't know which one I prefer. Because they're both equal. Actually, let's be honest, this one is 10% better.
I know what you mean by that though. It's still a pan of chocolate. It's still pastry, but there is a butteriness, a flakiness, an airiness.
That's exactly what a croissant is.
Yeah, that's it. Oh.
Very flaky.
Oh, look at that chocolate pouring out. Oh my gosh.
Squeeze it, squeeze it. Don't squeeze it.
Oh my,
If I was at school, I think I would take it.
If you were at school, you'd take it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they have to be eaten, in my opinion, freshly baked and still warm. Once you cool them down, you reheat them in the microwave, not quite the same. Which is why I didn't want to bake these any further, because then they literally, you know what I mean? The pastry just goes, just like dust. There we go, a solid good few hours work. I started at 3 in the afternoon yesterday, and by about 10 p.m. I could sort of walk away from it. But I really feel, I genuinely really think, look at that golden brown sheen on it. Ah! Please, 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 I hope this video has inspired you at least to consider giving it a go. Sausage rolls,
Daddy,
pan au chocolat,
Daddy.
croissants, just rolled up pastry if you will. Ooh. Thank you so much, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a nice little like, leave a comment, share, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That would be very jolly of you indeedy, right? Pan au chocolat is the new cowpole, right? We need to give you some cowpole now anyway. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
This video was a real pain.
I'm a raw meat rapper, baby, ain't signed to no label, but I'm spreading out these lyrics like topping on a bagel. Cooking is the shizzle, so don't you get stressed, just get a hot pan and some chicken breast.
Alright folks, some rough footage. This is the day after on my phone. So these are the ones left over. I actually had one for breakfast this morning, bunged it in the microwave for 20 seconds, still soft. Gorgeous. About a quarter of the ones here are from the leftover dough I had, so you get a good amount. And also the rest of it was made with the dough that we did and kind of rushed in the video, and they've turned out pretty good. I've been experimenting some massive ones. You can see how if you put it right by the edge, it does poke out there. I did some croissants as well, but I quite like the sort of ones where it's sort of like hidden, like a parcel like this or like that, where you don't know that it's chocolate in it, and it's kind of like, ooh. So really fun. Really hope you try it. I could have frozen them before putting them in the oven, and then obviously take them out of the freezer and bake them right through. But I know now, based on this, if I freeze them, they'll taste stonking. So good luck.